Okay, guys, so I want to give you guys just a quick summary of basically the workflow document. This is the document that I've been kind of hammering basically in you guys for the entire semester. So the idea was I wanted to give you guys basically a overview of the workflow to allow you guys to basically take images that you shoot and prepare them ultimately for output. Now, what we did is we looked at two pieces of software. We looked at Capture One and we looked at Photoshop. Capture One, we basically took images into the program and then prepared them for Photoshop. Now, when you guys are ultimately starting, what you want to do is create a new session in Photoshop in Capture One. You'll either then import from a card, memory card, or tether, so the images go directly into that session. You'll then apply your IPC copyright. So that's basically bringing images into the program and applying your copyright. You'll then organize the files. So basically, you'll go through and then select via client requirements or your own requirements. Basically, going through your images and selecting down the final images for you to then edit, then to eventually deliver to your client. Then you move them to the selection folder. In the adjustment section, what you're ultimately going to do is go through and adjust exposure and recover shadows and highlights and things like that, and then do a global color correction if you have shot with a color checker. Under process, what you'll ultimately be doing is either running a process recipe to give the files to a client right there and then, or running a process to bring them into Photoshop. So processing ultimately just takes the raw files and then makes them into a different file format, either the editing file format or a publishing file format. From there, we ultimately go in and retouch. We want to basically remove any distracting elements that detract from the subject or product and things like that. Then we want to adjust density, so we want to do a global density adjustment, ultimately to raise contrast and things like that. And then we want to do a local density adjustment to basically enhance with the contrast in an even more controlled way using dodging and burning. Anything beyond that, effects and whatnot, basically sharpening and softening features, or doing some special effects like black and white, vignettes, stuff like that. From there, what you want to do is a color correction. So the reason we do this last is because all of this density and effects and things like that can potentially add color casts to images as well in a very minor way. So we want to basically just counteract that. So we're going to do a global color correction using curves if you did not do so in Capture One, and then finally a local color correction to remove any unwanted color casts on objects or basically in skin. And that's it. That is basically ready to go to output. Basically, you then decide what you want to actually output to. So this is Bowie's component in post-production. What you want to do is basically either decide if you're going to a printer or paper, and then do any type of density and color corrections required for those particular sections as well. So there you go, guys. That is the workflow. So I want to give you guys a quick overview. And what we're going to do with this is now that we can understand and have gone through this document, what we're going to do in the next semester is ultimately go through and apply workflow in different aspects, looking at video and design and things like that. And we'll also come back to the workflow document, look at more advanced and more practical ways of using these particular tools. But there you go, guys. That is Digital One.